Hey guys, my name is Ashley V and you're watching Ashley V TV. Today I interview country pop artist Faith Alexa and I cannot wait for you to meet her. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. I'm here with country pop artist Faith Alexa. Hello. Okay, so tell me about where you're from, where you were born, kind of like just a little background.
Yeah, I was born in Texas, born and raised there. My dad's a football coach, so kind of claimed the whole state. Moved around a lot, but I feel like I got a good little taste of East Texas, Central Texas. Yeah.
And what's your favorite thing about Texas?
Oh my gosh, the people. Like, I feel like there's just a different level of Southern hospitality in Texas. Like, everyone that I've come across and my experiences in Texas they're just so kind, and like no one ever hesitates to like, I don't know, just the friendly neighbors, and there's this this sense of camaraderie. Like, if you see another Texan out and someone, I'm a huge Texas Longhorn fan. Okay. So if I see someone out with any kind of UT gear on, I'm like, hook 'em horns, and I say hook 'em horns back, and it's just, I don't know, there's just such a sense of like home for me. That's what I love most. Yeah.
I know, when I think of UT, I'm like Texas, not Tennessee.
I know, I get in trouble here.
I
get in trouble here because I'll say UT and they're like, oh, Tennessee. Like,
yeah.
No, like, no, Texas.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have like a favorite NFL team?
My dad was born in Minnesota, and there's like a whole backstory. I think my dad's dad, my grandpa, coached with the son of a Vikings head coach or coordinator or somebody. So my dad grew up like going to this coach's house and like seeing all the stuff on the walls, meeting some players, and so by default I'm a Vikings fan. Which, you know.
Oh, never. I was like, okay, Cowboys or you Texans? No.
I'm not a Cowboys fan. Do you like the Cowboys?
No, I'm not a huge football person. Okay. But I'm from Houston, so
you're
like
Texan.
Like JJ Watt, like, you know, JJ Watt.
I love JJ Watt. He seems like such a sweetie.
Yeah. Like all the pictures and like he's always donating stuff. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, like, growing up, what kind of music was played around your house, or what did you grow up listening to, or was there just like different streams of music?
It was kind of everything. My parents are huge country fans, though, so it was predominantly country. My mom always says that I could sing before I could talk. Like, I was singing in the back seat along to whatever they were playing on the radio. But a lot of like classic rock from my dad, and then my mom was huge into country. There wasn't actually a ton of pop played, now that I think about it, but like country pop, like Shania. Yeah. I feel like she's her own genre, so Shania was played. I'm named after Faith Hill.
Oh, awesome.
Kind of, my parents they love her, her and Tim, and loved the name, and then they thought I would be a basketball player, a college basketball player, so they could have billboards that say like, we've got Faith.
Oh my gosh.
Which that joke is like so old now. Like, mom and dad, come on. But yeah, so I kind of named after Faith Hill.
Yeah.
And then my mom actually was the one who got me into Taylor Swift. I was like 5 when her debut single came out. My mom would play it, like turn it up anytime it came on the radio. She bought the CDs, and I had my own CD player in my room. It was like my prized possession, and I would put in Faith Hill CDs and then eventually Taylor CDs, and I would line up all my stuffed animals on my bed and give them a concert. Because I was an only child until I was like, 2.5, so I guess not that long, but yeah.
That sounds like so much fun. I feel like toupee, you know, like the whole CD.
Oh my gosh, it's like I had butterfly wallpaper and pink walls, and I just like, you know, obviously I don't have a ton of memory from that time, but what I remember, I'm like, I think that was my prime. I think those were my prime years.
Oh my god. What was your favorite kind of Faith Hill song growing up?
Oh, That's hard.
Or at least a few favorites that pop up like immediately.
Oh, I hope I don't get this wrong. Bed of Roses.
Okay.
Bringing Out the Elvis in Me. This Kiss is just a classic. I think those are the three that came to mind immediately.
Okay, what about Taylor?
Oh, and Fireflies. Oh gosh, I am so indecisive just as a whole, so it is really hard for me to pick Taylor favorites.
At least on her countryside.
On her countryside?
The early ones.
Well, when I was little, it was Picture to Burn because I wasn't allowed to say stupid. So I would, when my mom was on the other side of the house, I'd like quietly play it and I'm like, stupid. Like, just like 6-year-old Faith. Oh gosh. Enchanted has always been like a soft spot for me. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Forever and Always piano version is my sister's absolute favorite, and so I think because it reminds me of my sister every time it comes on, I'm just like, oh. So but I don't know. It's every Taylor song for me. I can't pick a favorite.
Yeah, there's like no wrong answer. Honestly.
No, there's not. There's
like that one. Yep, that one. Yep.
That's the anthem. The whole checklist. All of her albums. Those are my favorites.
So when it comes to like all the music, who do you draw inspiration from the most creating your own music?
Lyrically, Taylor. Sonically, I'd have to say Casey Musgraves. A little splash of Kelsey Ballerini, but she's so like new. I mean, not new, but in the last 10 years, and I guess Casey Musgraves is too, but I try to like not recreate something that's already been done. Obviously, I feel like artists, you get that, like artists, that's not something we tend to do or tend to like to do, but I really like just that ethereal feel. Like I call my stuff like ethereal disco cowgirl country. Like
I love that so much.
Anything that makes you feel like you're in your car with the windows down, or like you're laying in your bed with your headphones on and you're just like, you can just be, you know. So anything that makes you feel like that. I don't know if there's like a word for it, but
it's like a
just kind of a floaty kind of sense of peace, I guess. Now I like to get rowdy too in some of my songs, but I feel like that's, if I had to describe my sound, it
that's like amazing, like, kind of thing to focus on lyrically, sonically, all that. So do you produce your own music, or you work with somebody?
No, I work with my producer is Zachary Mano, and he produces a very wide array of artists. He works. I feel like he works with everybody in the country realm. He is amazing. I met him, I guess, my freshman year of college, so that would have been 2019. My friend S.J. McDonald actually recommended, because I was looking for producers, and at that time I'm like 19 years old, and I was like, I have no money and everyone's really expensive. Like all these studios are really, really expensive to get into. And I was just looking to test the waters, I'm like, I'm not committing to anything. I just want to see what this process is like. So SJ recommended Zach, and I reached out to him, and he had a home studio at the time in the bottom floor of his townhouse, and he is the best. He just he gets what I'm saying, and I feel like it's a really good artist producer connection. So yeah, I've worked with him on everything, and it's I just love working with him. I love working with him.
That's awesome. You found someone freshman year of college, you clicked immediately.
Yeah, I got really lucky with that. SJ is a gem, and I'm all of everything to her for just that one little, it's so awesome. I don't know, I feel like Belmont is just this big bubble of opportunity, and everyone tries to help each other out, and she was my TT leader, and she had singles out, and so I was like, oh, I guess I was asking around, I was like, I should really ask SJ. She probably knows people that are older and, not fresh into college, because none of us really know what we're doing at the beginning. Or I didn't, but I love him, and he and his now wife, Haley Mae Campbell, are just, they're the best.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear that story. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about coming into Belmont, like how you found out about Belmont. Like, was it your top school? Was it like, a last minute kind of thing?
Yeah, so I kind of, growing up, I would say I want to be a singer, and people would be like, okay, you need a real job though. You need a real job. And I'm like, well, all these people that I look up to, they don't have a side, that is a real job. They don't have a side hustle. This is their job. So I was trying to figure out what that looked like as like I guess going into high school. I think I was a freshman actually, and my family planned our first trip to Nashville, so we came to Nashville and we were doing all the touristy stuff, walking around Broadway during the daytime just to hear some live music. And I thought Broadway was this like Disneyland of Nashville.
Yeah.
It's
a street.
Now that I've lived here for 5 years, I know that it's not really that special. But the people there playing the music are, and so I was so enamored by, I don't know, I just had stars in my eyes, and I was walking around like, this is the best thing ever. And Big Machine had a store like off of Broadway, kind of by the entrance to the pedestrian bridge, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Or the end of it. So I was like, well, we have to go to Big Machine because Taylor was signed there at the time, and I wanted to see if they had any merch. And so we walk over to it, and it's kind of like boarded up. Like there's paper on the windows of the doors.
So
an
actual building.
It was an actual like storefront, yeah. Okay. It just looked like there was some construction going on. I was devastated, but we were like, okay, let's just figure out where we're gonna go eat lunch. And my brother, who was like, he's 6 years younger than me, he was probably 8 at the time. He was young. He was just kind of like mindlessly pulling on the door while we were trying to like Google places to get lunch. And so you know how little boy he was just pulling on the door and just kind of like hanging. He wasn't trying to he wasn't like this. He was just kind of like around. Okay, what are we doing? And this lady comes out, and we're like so sorry about him. And he's like frightened. And she's like, can I help y'all? And we were just like, oh, we were hoping to see some Taylor merch, but like, we see you got stuff going on, so sorry about him. She goes, well, it's a mess and I'm a mess, but why don't you come on in? And I was like, okay, so who is this lady? We walk in, and they've got all kinds of like all their artists merch and their own like Big Machine Music Has Value merch. And we were just kind of looking around, and this woman is asking us like what we're up to today, where we're from, and we're visiting from Texas. And I told her like we're just trying to see Nashville. I write songs and I want to be a singer. That's what I said. I want to be a country singer. That's what I would say. And we were just looking around, and she just starts we just start having conversation. She starts saying, my husband this, my husband that, and I made Trisha Yearwood's wedding dress, and I make Reba's stage outfits. And I'm looking at her like, who are you? You are amazing. She's like being so sweet to us. There was no reason for her to, let us, like, she was just being so kind. And then finally she said, my husband something, like the third time. And I look at her and I said, are you Sandy Borchetta?
Oh my god.
And she goes, yeah, my husband's Scott. And I was like,
oh my god,
starstruck. And so obviously I was like,
so first trip to Nashville, you just meet Sandy.
Just out of dumb luck too. Yeah. I mean, it's my brother. I owe him. He gets all the credit for this. But yeah, I was just like, what advice do you have for a songwriter? And I'm like a baby at the time. I'm 14, 15, whatever. And she said, go to Belmont and, network your tail off and intern any chance you get. I said, yes, ma'am. And we eventually left the store, and we literally get out onto the sidewalk, and I'm Googling
Belmont.
what is Belmont.
Yeah.
And I see that like Brad Paisley's an alum, Trisha Yearwood, and all these people that are connected to Belmont are people that I love, and I was like, I'm going to Belmont. And that was it. Like for the rest of high school, my advisors and counselors, I'm sure I was such a pain in the butt to them because they'd be like, okay, babe, like what's your second choice? There's not a second choice. I'm going to Belmont or I'm not going to college. And that wouldn't have flown with my parents, but it worked out. I applied early admission because Belmont's got the rolling admission, but I was like, I just have to know. I just have to know if I get in. And I got in, I think in September of 2018, and that was it.
Oh, congratulations. Oh my god, that's such a cool story. I don't think I'll ever hear that kind of story.
And I don't tell it enough, honestly. Yeah. Like, I told one of my professors last semester, and she was like, that is the most bizarre Belmont story I've ever heard. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm extremely grateful for that day. Like, if he hadn't been pulling on the doors, I don't.
Right?
I would have eventually probably found Belmont, but like, that's such a cool story. So thanks, Brody.
So did you get any Taylor Swift merch after all?
I don't think you know what, she did bring us up. I got this like muscle tee. It was Big Machine, and it said music has value. And then I think I don't think they had anything that I didn't already have from Taylor, so I don't think we got any Taylor stuff, but we got like, she gave us some wristbands or something.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. That's gonna be like your favorite story.
Oh my gosh. It's the best. Anytime I remember it randomly, I'm just like,
That's so cute. Yeah. Okay, so tell me about your music releases. Like, when did you first release music?
Yeah.
And how long have you been writing before that?
Ooh, I've been writing, I started writing like silly songs the second I found out Taylor writes her own songs, like which I was probably 7, and it would be silly songs. Like I'd be mad at my sister and I'd write a diss song about her, or I would be like, the sky's blue and the grass is green and I don't know what that means, but I love you. Like just like little things. And I did that for like years, and then in 2013 my sister was diagnosed with a condition we'd never heard of, and we didn't know what was gonna come from that. And I was feeling a lot of things because I was 12 years old, and my sister is my absolute best friend in the world. She's 2.5 years younger than me, so she was 10 when this happened, and it just felt like my world was ending, and I didn't know what to do with those emotions. Like, that's a lot for anybody, but especially a 12-year-old who doesn't know how to cope. And there was like the week that she was diagnosed, there were like 5 or so days that I was just like, I would sit in my bathroom and just cry, and then eventually I was like, I can't do this every day. And I would listen to Taylor, I would listen to music, like that's all I wanted to do was listen to music or connect with, like find songs that I could relate the lyrics to what was happening in my life right now. And I was like, wait a second, what if I just wrote what I was feeling? Because I always kept diaries, I always kept journals, and I did the silly songs, but it was never about anything serious. Like I never tried to have a structurally sound song. You know, I didn't do verse, chorus, verse. It was like verse, 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 verse. So I sat down and tried to write a song for the first time. And it was probably terrible, but it made me feel better. And so I was like, I think this is what I want to do. And so from then on, I would do that. And it was never I never put guitar to it, because I would put a melody to it, but I didn't know how to play guitar at the time or piano, and instead of learning, I just was like, melody's good enough. So I would record like an a cappella thing in my voice memos, and that was that. And then in high school, I started to put guitar to it more, to my songs, and Yeah, I think freshman or sophomore year of high school, I was 15 or 16, I wrote my song Pretty Eyes, which I eventually released, and I loved that song. And that was kind of like the only good song I thought I had for years, until I wrote a song called Sunshine. I started it in the summer of 2019 and then finished it in the fall of 2019 because I met this guy and I was like, oh, he's really cute and he just makes me feel happy and light and airy, and so I started writing about that. And then I was like, I don't really know him that well, it's weird to write a song about it. In case this does go anywhere, I don't want to be like, yeah, I started this when I met you. But I finished it in the fall after we started dating. He's now my fiance and we're getting married in June.
Congratulations!
Thank you. But Sunshine was the first song that I applied to the songwriting program at Belmont with Pretty Eyes and Sunshine. And I recorded Sunshine in February of 2020 with Zach and released it in April of 2020, which I was so conflicted about because I saw, like, I had that date set from, I think, like when I went in to record it in February. I was like, April 3rd is the date. I did, the recordings, I did the photo shoot for the cover art, I did all the promo planning and everything and uploading it to the distributor. And then COVID happened and I saw a bunch of like big artists being like, I'm gonna hold off on releasing my album for now because I don't, we don't know what this time is and I don't want to be insensitive. And which I respect anyone who can make, that big of a decision. At the time though, I was like, I'm not a big artist. I don't know if it might actually make people happy, this song, which is a very I'm falling in love, you are my sunshine, you are the light in my life. And I was like, people might need that. I need that right now. So I'm gonna go through with it, and I did, and I think, I could be completely wrong, but I think to this day it's still the best performing first week that I've ever had on a song. And I'd like to think that's because people needed extra sunshine at that time. But yeah, I started releasing, that was my first release, spring of 2020. And then I released 2 more songs in fall of 2020, those were the 3 singles leading up to my first EP. And it was New Year's Day that I released it, of 2021, called Somebody New, and I love that little EP. I feel like I've grown so much since then though, so sometimes listening to it I'm like, oh, I would have done so many things different, but I feel like that's the beauty of art and just growing as an artist and a person. But yeah.
That's so cute. Yeah. So what's your most latest release?
That would be Say Sorry. I released it February 3rd last year, so it's almost a year old. Yeah. But I wrote that with my friend Hannah Cole, and I love that song so much. It's been a while though since I've put anything out, or I feel like a year's not really that long, I guess, but it feels like it sometimes because all the prep is months leading up to it, and then it's released and it's kind of like, okay, well, now it's gonna take its little wings and fly, and we're just gonna watch it. But
so how did that songwriting process go with Hannah?
So we wrote it, I think we wrote it a year before it came out, and we were supposed to write at her apartment, and it was one of the days that it just randomly snowed. It was like January or February, and we either didn't expect it to freeze or snow, or we just didn't look. But the roads were very unsafe. I'm from Texas. Don't let me on the roads when there's a chance of snow or a chance of freezing. It's just bad. I prefer to be in my house and knowing that I'm not going to cause mass destruction to anybody or myself. So I texted her and I was just like, hey, I'm too nervous to drive. Do you think we could hop on a Zoom? And she was like, absolutely. So we got on Zoom, and Say Sorry is a very personal story for me, just about a past relationship that was absolutely like, I mean, it was what it was, and I feel like grown a lot since that relationship, and like looking back at it, I can now see it for what it was. In the moment, I didn't know how bad it actually was, but after some therapy, I'm like, that's there's a lot of things there that maybe aren't right. So we just we talked about that. It was honestly probably an hour and a half maybe of just like sharing, the deepest parts of our souls. And then I was like, I've always wanted to write this song called Say Sorry about this. And then we figured out how to put it in words to get, because I was stuck. Like, I got the title and then I was stuck. I was like, every time I think about this, I freeze. I don't know how to put it into words. And she helped do that so much. She's an amazing writer, an amazing artist. She does like indie pop. She's so cool. But yeah, it started kind of as more of a ballad. And then when I brought it in to Zach, we agreed it would be better as like a little bit more up-tempo, 4/4, like, and then it's now its own little bop. Yeah.
I love the cover art. It's like so
thank
pink.
you. Thank you. Yeah, it's one of the things that happened in that relationship was after a breakup. He showed up at my school on my birthday, which we didn't have school that day because it was like a random Monday off or something, and I like walked out to the parking lot to go to my car, and he like showed up on my birthday, and I was like, hey, bye. So I thought like a sad, angry, angsty birthday party where I just like obliterate cupcakes would be a fun cover art.
Oh my gosh, well, I love it.
Thank you.
So in Belmont, I saw your performance as they post showcase series on YouTube. That's how I like ran into your name and all that.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's on Country Showcase. So tell me about that. Like, what year did you apply, and like just the process of it, and like all of it?
Yeah, I applied, I think September, of 2021. It was so much fun getting a band together, and like I never had a full band performance, I don't think. I did do a full band thing for my EP release, but it was small and at my church, and it was like people in the community came and supported, which is awesome. But I had never done like a large scale performance with a full band before, so it was all new to me. My friend Gloria Anderson helped a lot, just like keeping my morale up. She was also in Showcase that year, so it was so special to do it together. She's one of my best friends. So I put together a band. Zach, actually my producer, played the pink sparkly electric guitar for that, and then one of my good friends, Richard, played bass, Carver played acoustic guitar, and Eli played drums, and it was so fun. I think we had 2 rehearsals, because we found out the week before Showcase that we were chosen, which I flipped out. I'm such an anxious person, like when it comes to, I'm a perfectionist, and I just wanted it to be perfect, and I was like, I don't think we can do that in 2 rehearsals, but the guys were great, and they were like, we've done it in less, like you're so good, so we rehearsed that week. I rehearsed in my living room by myself to my songs. Like, I was like, what do I do with my hands? Just like absolutely freaking out. But it was such a great experience, and Gloria also killed it. It was just so fun. Like, we hung out in the green room backstage together, and my friend Shelby was my manager. Like, she acted as my manager that day, and she was awesome. She took so many cool photos and like behind the scenes videos, because I love making little TikToks and videos and stuff.
What's your favorite class that you took at Belmont?
My favorite class was definitely Social and Emotional Intelligence with Christy Williams-Gilbert. It's a CEI class, and you kind of do a deep dive on like how you communicate who you are, and you learn how to like interact and communicate with others, which sounds like something you might already like. You're like, I already know how to do that, but I learned so much in that class. Like I would say that I'm pretty in tune with my emotions and everything. And before that class, I would have called myself emotionally intelligent. I had no idea. Like it's the best. I super recommend taking it if you can. And then there's her second section of that class is I think it's emotional like wellness in the entertainment industry. It's got a really, really long title, so we just called it emo too. But yeah, that was definitely my favorite class.
Yeah, and I feel like that can like help so much with songwriting, because it's all about connecting and emotions and communicating.
Yeah, absolutely, and like looking deeper into yourself too. Like that's sometimes it's really easy to write kind of like surface level stuff. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, I'm sad, but like what is actually the emotion? Like what am I actually feeling? Where does it stem from? If there's a whole rabbit hole you can get into.
Well, thank you for sharing, because I don't think like a lot of people, I haven't heard of that class.
Yeah, I haven't heard of, like, unless you're in the class or your friend is in the class. I've mentioned that class so many times, and it's news to people. So I share it with your friends, take it yourself. It's the best. I love that class.
It's under Creative Entertainment Industries major.
Yeah, it's under CEI, and I think anyone with like a music business major or minor can take that class.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah,
thanks for sharing it.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. So what has, you've been in Nashville for quite a bit. What has been your favorite things to do in Nashville?
The easy answer is concerts, live music. I feel like most every concert I've been to in Nashville, there's been a special guest that comes out, and I've had a few that I'm like, I didn't even know. Or the most recent one, I went to go see Carrie Underwood on her Denim and Rhinestones tour, and she brought out Brad Paisley, and they're just so much fun together, and that was at Bridgestone.
I love every time they host together. It's the best.
It's the best. Even just on her stage, they were, and it's natural. It's just their friendship. They're like poking fun at each other. It's so much fun. Trying to think of other artists. That's the one that just comes to mind. Taylor brought out, I went to night 2 and 3 of Era's tour here in Nashville, and she brought out Aaron Dessner.
Oh my god.
The third night. The second night though, I was seated in front of the VIP tent, and like her best friend Abigail, who lives in Nashville, was right behind me with like Gigi Hadid, and I was like, totally normal. This is fine. But yeah, I think the atmosphere is different than any other city at concerts in Nashville.
What's your favorite venue to like go to? Is it Nissan Stadium, Bridgestone?
I do love Nissan, but I'm not really a stadium show goer unless it's someone I really, really love, or like they're just at the level that they have to do stadiums. So like Kenny Chesney did his tour with Carly Pierce. Oh, he brought out Kelsey Ballerini. There's a special guest for you. I love Bridgestone. My favorite, oh gosh, that's so hard. I love Bridgestone just because I've been there so many times. I feel like I know it really well. And then the Ryman is just magical. Like you can just feel magic in the air there. I went to the NSAIA Awards when Taylor came out and accepted the award. What did she get? Like songwriter of
the decade?
The decade. Yeah, a songwriter of the decade. So I was there when she accepted that, and when she sang All Too Well 10-minute version.
Oh my god.
There's never been anything more magical to ever happen to me. Like I was just sitting, chills, because you're in the Ryman. Yeah. It's already a holy experience, and then Taylor Swift walks out, and you're like, I'm watching Taylor Swift sing and I'm watching all the people that I look up to. Garth Brooks is sitting right here, just fully jamming out. He knows the words, and I'm like, oh my God. I think this is heaven. I think I've died and gone to heaven. So yeah, Bridgestone might be my favorite. Bridgestone might be my favorite, but Ryman is like will always be number one just because it's the Ryman. But other than live music, I really enjoy coffee, and I love going to coffee shops in Nashville because, again, you never know who you're going to see.
Have you seen anybody at the coffee shop yet?
Not when I was sitting there. I drove by, I was going to get coffee at the Well, is on Music Row, is my favorite, and Charles Kelly was sitting outside. And I had just done the, oh my goodness, I just did Grammy U, and he was one of the judges. Okay. And so he had just like critiqued one of my songs, and like it was like 2 months later, I think. I'm driving by, and I was talking to my mom on the phone. Like, Charles Kelly, what was he doing there? But it's just so normal, you know. I had a little moment because I was in my car, but it's so normal to see people living there. I saw Thomas Rhett and Keith Urban at Green Hills Mall 2 separate times. But yeah, anyway, coffee. I love coffee, and so the coffee shops in Nashville are probably my favorite.
And which ones are your favorites? I
love the Well on Music Row, and I love sitting at Bongo Java. I will say they're a tad expensive, but I love them. I'm just such a sucker that I don't care. I'll pay it. I love sitting there, and I feel like I see a lot of classmates or former classmates when I'm just sitting there reading or doing work or whatever. But I told myself freshman year, I made a list because it was during like Welcome Week. They gave a bunch of suggestions for different, like if you like barbecue, go here. If you like Mexican food, go here. If you like coffee shops, these are our. So I started a list, and I was like, I'm gonna try all the coffee shops in Nashville, and I'm gonna see which one's my favorite, because I don't want to just like go to Starbucks when I want coffee. You know, I want to go somewhere that has a story or has means something to me. So I need to do that this year because I never did that. I never did my rankings, but
we'll tell us on social media.
I'll make a list.
Yeah. Tell us, okay, like this is good, and like what to get to, because there's so many options.
Yeah, I'm all times of the year I'm an iced coffee fan, which some people don't jive with, which is totally fine. But it'll be, I mean, it's cold right now, it's winter now, and it's only gonna get colder in February, and you'll see me walking around with a nice coffee. I don't drink hot coffee. Well, I will, but I don't prefer it.
Okay. Yeah, well, tell everyone where to follow you, so we can see all the iced coffee
and no other reason, just to get my coffee. Yeah. Well, I'm Faith Alexa. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Faith Alexa, FaithAlexa, H at the end, because someone stole my name. And then YouTube, I'm Faith Alexa. Facebook is Faith Alexa Music. Apple Music and Spotify is Faith Alexa. If you listen on Amazon or Napster or Tidal or Pandora, it's just Faith Alexa everywhere. So
okay, awesome. And what song will you be performing for us today?
I chose this, disclaimer, I chose this before finding out Ashley's from Houston, but I will be playing Hanging On to Houston.
Yay, well, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Okay, well, can't wait. Oh, don't forget our last little segment.
Oh, yes.
It is the 15 fast favorites. Are you ready?
I think.
You think?
I think so.
Okay, first thing
this is like nightmare for an indecisive human being like myself.
Just the first thing that comes to your mind.
I love watching these though, so
okay.
See if I can do it myself.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Okay. Favorite candy?
Reese's.
Favorite color?
Pink.
Favorite Disney character?
Belle.
Favorite vacation spot?
Anywhere on the beach.
Favorite season of the year?
Fall.
Favorite sport to watch?
Football.
Favorite movie?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Favorite snack?
Ooh. Does ice cream count? No, skinny pop. Popcorn. Fruit.
All of it.
Okay. All the snacks.
Favorite time of day?
Evening.
Favorite fast food restaurant?
Whataburger.
Favorite subject in school?
English.
Favorite TV show?
Vampire Diaries right now.
Okay. Favorite go-to karaoke song?
Love Story.
Favorite superhero movie?
Captain America,
Okay.
I think.
That's 15. That's 15. Okay. So tell us why your favorite go-to karaoke song is Love Story.
Well, a couple years ago, I was on spring break with my fiance's family, and we were dating at the time. And his family was like, "There's karaoke. You have to do karaoke." And I said, I'm not doing karaoke until CJ goes up there with me and does karaoke, because I knew they were gonna not let it rest, and so I was like, might as well drag CJ into this too. And we chose Love Story. I had him choose it. I was like, if you're going up there with me, like, you choose it. And he said Love Story. I was like, perfect, easy. I know that song like the back of my hand. Put it in, and we're actually like 2 songs before our song, or 1 song before our song. And he goes, wait, what if I fake propose to you on stage? And I was like, are you insane? And at the time I had a promise ring that he had given me, and I guess for Christmas the year before, and he goes, yeah, I'll just take the promise ring and have it in my pocket, and when it gets to the time, when it gets to the bridge, I will get on a knee and pretend like I'm proposing. And because it was his idea, I was like, we have to we have to do it. I was so nervous. He was so nervous. I was so nervous for the proposal part. He was so nervous to just sing, to be on a stage. He is not. He's super smart. He's into, he's going to medical school. Like, he's not the type to be on a stage. He does not want attention on him ever. So yeah, we get up there and we sang Love Story, and he fake proposed, and we recorded it, and we got back to the Airbnb later, and I was like, how funny would it be if I posted it? And at the time I had 30 followers on TikTok.
Oh my god.
Like, literally my mom and some friends. I don't even think my mom had it yet, actually. It was just my friends. I posted it just as like funny, haha. I was like, hashtag proposal, hashtag prank, hashtag love story. Go to sleep. I woke up to my phone blowing up, and my friends are like, no way you didn't call me if CJ proposed. Like, they were so mad at me thinking it was real. And I was like, oh no, you're so silly. No, it's not real. Go back to sleep. Wake up again at like 9 to find that we had started going viral. And at that time, it was like 50,000 views, which I think the most I'd ever gotten on a video was like 50 views. So I was like, this is crazy. And by noon it had 1 million, and it just kept going throughout like the next few weeks, and
that's crazy.
It was crazy. There's it was pretty crazy. So
that's a fun little
we went viral for
a
proposal. It's a love story.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing. That's so cool. Over here, if you can't see, we have to do this little, like, the little. So what else do you have? Do you have koozies?
I have koozies, and then I've got, this is mine. I made little tote bags. It's lived in. It's got all my stuff in it, and this is not just promotional. I actually use it, and it's pretty durable, I'd say. I've had it for 6 months, and it's holding up pretty well. Find me on Instagram at FaithAlexa. Just DM me. I don't have a website or anything to buy them from, but if you DM me and say, hey, I want a skinny koozie or a regular koozie, I will ship them out to you. These are $5. The tote bags are $20, and then plus shipping.
They're so cute, and you can get every color.
Yes, I actually use all of this stuff. Like, I really, really like. This is my song where the problem starts.
Yes, so go stream it. Get the koozie, get the merch, get the totes. You gotta get all Faith Alexa out. That is it.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm Faith Alexa on Ashley VTV, and this is my song Hanging On to Houston. I almost didn't go to that 94 rodeo. George Strait, first date, I
much for watching. I want to give a special thanks to our troops and veterans for their service, and a shout out to my family for always supporting me. Don't forget to always be a blessing to others. Subscribe on YouTube and follow on Instagram for more content. Thanks for watching.
I almost didn't go to that 94 rodeo. George Strait, first date.